Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and join the family. Because you already know we bring you all the hottest gist, trends, and viral conversations you don't want to miss. Now today, this is one of those stories that didn't just trend randomly. It started from something very small, something that could have easily gone unnoticed. But the more people paid attention to it, the more it grew into something bigger than anyone expected. And right now, fans are talking about something Maurice Sam reportedly did for Pearl Watts on set, something that caught attention almost instantly once it was pointed out. But here's the thing, this isn't just about what happened. It's about how people are reacting to it, how they're interpreting it, and how a single moment can turn into a full-blown conversation online. Let's get into it. Moments on set are usually very fast-paced. There's movement everywhere. People are preparing scenes, adjusting positions, communicating quickly, and making sure everything flows smoothly. Because of that, a lot of things happen in a short amount of time. Most of those things go completely unnoticed by viewers. But every now and then, something stands out, not because it was meant to stand out, but because someone noticed it. And once something is noticed, it begins to gain attention. And attention is what transforms a simple moment into something much bigger. So in this situation, what we're seeing is how one observation can spread. It starts with one person, then a few people. Then suddenly, a lot of people are talking about the same thing. And when that happens, the moment itself becomes a topic. People go back to watch it again. They replay it. They slow it down. They focus on specific details. And in doing that, they begin to form their own opinions. And this is where things begin to shift, because interpretation comes into play. What one person sees as a thoughtful gesture, another might see as something deeper. What one person views as completely normal, another might see as unusual. And these differences in perception are what create discussions, because now it's not just about the moment itself. It's about what people believe that moment represents. And once people start assigning meaning, the conversation begins to grow. Another important factor is how quickly ideas spread online. Social media doesn't move slowly. It moves fast, very fast. Once something starts gaining attention, it reaches more people in a short amount of time. And with each new person comes a new perspective. Some agree with the initial observation, some disagree, some are unsure but curious. And all of these reactions combine to create momentum, because momentum is what keeps a topic alive. Another layer to this is repetition. When people see the same observation being mentioned repeatedly, it begins to feel more important, even if it originally came from just a small number of people, because repetition creates familiarity, and familiarity can sometimes feel like confirmation. So what begins as a simple question, "Did anyone notice that?" can slowly turn into a stronger statement. A lot of people are seeing this. From there, it can evolve into something even more widely accepted. Another thing to consider is how people naturally look for meaning. The human mind doesn't like uncertainty. When something feels unclear, people try to make sense of it. They try to understand the intention behind actions. They try to connect what they're seeing to something they already understand. And in doing that, they sometimes create explanations that feel right to them. But those explanations are not always based on full information. They are based on perception. And perception can vary, because everyone sees things differently. Another important aspect is context. On set, actions often happen for practical reasons. People help each other, they adjust things, they communicate non-verbally, and many of these actions are completely normal within that environment. But when viewers see only a small part of that environment, it can look different, because they don't have the full context, they only have a moment. And when a moment is taken out of a larger situation, it can be interpreted in many different ways. Another layer to this is curiosity. When people feel like they've spotted something interesting, they want to understand it. They want to know more. They want to figure out what it means. And that curiosity keeps the conversation active. Because as long as people are curious, they will keep watching, analyzing, and discussing. And every new opinion adds another layer to the conversation. Another factor is how quickly narratives evolve. Something that starts as an observation can turn into a belief. And that belief can become widely shared. Because online discussions don't stay static. They grow. They develop. They influence each other. So what begins as a small idea can quickly become a major talking point. And once it becomes a talking point, it attracts even more attention. Another key aspect is emotional response. People don't just observe situations like this, they react to them. Some reactions come from excitement, some come from curiosity, some come from skepticism, and some come from a combination of all three. These emotional reactions influence how strongly people express their opinions, and the stronger the opinions, the more engagement the topic receives. Because people want to share what they think, they want to be heard, they want to be part of the conversation. Another layer to this is how attention amplifies everything. The more something is talked about, the bigger it feels, even if it started from something very small. Because attention gives weight to a topic, it makes it feel important. And once something feels important, more people pay attention to it, and the cycle continues. Another thing to consider is how different people focus on different details. Some focus on timing, some focus on movement, some focus on reactions, and each of these details can lead to a different interpretation, which is why there isn't just one conclusion. There are multiple viewpoints existing at the same time. Some people believe the action meant something deeper. Some people believe it was completely normal. And many people are simply observing, trying to decide what they think. Another important aspect is how conversations like this don't have a fixed endpoint. They evolve. They change, they shift as new perspectives are introduced. And as long as people remain interested, the conversation continues. At the center of everything is attention. Attention is what keeps the topic alive. As long as people are watching, analyzing, and discussing, it continues to grow. And that's exactly what we're seeing right now. A moment that may have seemed small at first has turned into a much larger discussion. A discussion shaped by perception, repetition, curiosity, and interpretation. Some people are convinced that what was seen meant something more. Some people are not convinced at all, and others are simply watching the conversation unfold. But one thing is clear, people are paying attention. And as long as that attention remains, the conversation will continue to evolve. But that's just what's being talked about right now. Eyes, what do you think? Do you feel like fans might have actually spotted something meaningful? Or do you think this is just another case of people reading too much into a normal on-set moment? Drop your thoughts in the comment section below. Let's talk about it. And don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on post notifications so you never miss any updates. I'll see you guys in the next one.